112-103, and they tie the series up at 2 games apiece. And big games there from Donovan. Looks like a good showing there from James Harden. Is this about what you expected from the Cavs to really be able to turn it up when they went home?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we've been hoping for, and they've been so hot and cold. On the road, they look like a completely different team, but it is great to see them come home and get 2 wins. I mean, like UD said, we got a series now, 3-game series going back to Detroit. So if you're Cleveland, you're hoping that you can carry some of this momentum back to Detroit. And for Detroit, just bounce back, hanging your hat on what's gotten you here to this point.
Not so much of Detroit.
Meanwhile, at Crypto, the Thunder, they're
start in the association. Cavs trying to even up the series against the Pistons in Game 4. But we're going to pick this one up in the third quarter because this is where the magic happens. Donovan Mitchell puts his head down, throws it in, gets the deuce and the damage. Mitchell would give the Cavs a 1-point lead at the line. And then the Cavs swing around the arc. Mitchell, 4-3. Boom goes the dynamite. It's an 8-0 run. A couple minutes later, the run is up to 10-0. Spida, another 3. Now it's 13-0. Keep stacking. Evan Mobley drives, kicks to James Harden. The beard is feared. That's a 3. JB Bickerstaff not happy. It's 16-0 run. Next Cavs possession. Mitchell dances on Tobias Harris. Another pull-up bucket. 18-0 run. Harden finds Jared Allen inside. Slams it down. The toothpaste is out of the tube. It is a 20-0 run
Were they
here.
playing make it, take it?
Maybe. Mitchell spinning, floats it in. The Cavs run finished at 22-0. That is the longest run to start a playoff half in the play-by-play era. Cavs up 13 after 3 quarters. Early in the fourth, Mitchell driving, gathering, finishing. Cavs up 17. Now, Detroit, they would try to stay in it. A couple minutes later, the Pistons still trailing big, pushing the break. Cade Cunningham hits the transition 3. Pistons cut it to 14. So you're telling me there's a chance. Well, Samsonite, I don't know. Donovan Mitchell, step back 3 over Cunningham. He had 43 points. The Cavs win 112-103 and even the series. Here's Spida.
What does it mean to tie the NBA record for most points in a half?
We won the game and we're 2-2 going to Detroit. Everybody let me know that I missed a free throw to break the record, though. I will say that, but then we're 2-2 headed to Detroit. That was what we came home to do, and that's all that matters.
But the mental fortitude and the mental, it's a big game, right? Like to turn that around, like he did. It's pretty impressive, Not sure in the playoffs I've seen a turnaround like that, where a guy is struggling and just absolutely turns the switch and complete opposite of the first half.
May I remind you all that Donovan Mitchell went into the tunnel at halftime with just 4 points. Then he scored 39 in the second half, which ties the NBA postseason record for a half. It's the 4th 40-point game in a Cavs jersey for Mitchell. Only LeBron James has more. Let's hear from JB Bickerstaff on this one.
We're still learning, and that's the tough part about it, But again, like we've said, some of the hardest lessons that you learn, right, are the most frustrating ones, but you learn from them and you grow. And this is a new environment for us, being in the second round, understanding what it takes to win at this, level in this round for the first time. And again, the difference of the urgency that a team provides when they're down 0-2 versus what you are when you're up 2-0. And I think we learned, from the Orlando series, what it's like to be down and the amount of urgency you have to play with. But now you're on the other side of it. And so now you're learning, how you have to slow that opponent who's playing with that type of urgency. So these are great experiences for us. The best part about it is it's now a 3-game series and we got 2 of them in Detroit. So we got to make sure we go home and take care of our business.
3-time NBA champion Danny Green, our NBA analyst, joins us now. Danny, Cleveland had that 24-0 run that spanned halftime. It was the first 22 points of the third quarter. That was a wow. What's the how? How did the Cavs start the second half like that?
They were just way more intense than Detroit was, and it kind of started with Cade. Cade struggled most of the game, not just the third quarter. But they upped their defensive intensity, which allowed them to run offensively. Everybody joined the party. James Harden got some shots. Obviously, Donovan had a historic second half. Or the Detroit Pistons himself but everybody joined the party. Jarrett Allen got in there, got physical, dunked the ball. Evan Mobley penetrated and kicked. Sam Merrill hit shots. Like, they had a bunch of guys produce. So it was a collective effort in that group. And also Detroit just kind of going cold and not finding rhythm and turning the ball over a lot in that second.
With the cliche that a playoff series doesn't really start until a team wins on the road. The home team has won every game of this series. Do you see that continuing in Game 5?
I actually do, because unfortunately for Cleveland, they're really bad on the road, and lucky for Detroit, Detroit's not that good on the road either, but they're a little bit better than Cleveland on the road. So both these teams have not been great on the road. Cleveland historically hasn't been, and Detroit has been great at home. So I think Detroit will win this Game 5. I think it'll come down to Game 7, which it possibly might happen. We see Cleveland get their first win on the road of the playoff series, but I think this is going to continue. This trend is going to continue for most of this series, and Game 5 will go to Detroit.
Danny, a trend that has been continuing in this series, one to which you alluded in the first question, the Detroit turnover issues, namely Cade Cunningham. Don't mean to pick on him. He was in the MVP conversation. Now, 63 turnovers in 11 career playoff games. It's more than 5 per game. How does he clean that up?
He just has to slow the game down. When he's at his best, he's taking his time, he's poised, he's patient. He's not letting them speed him up. You do have to give the guy some grace. In that Orlando series, he's still fresh off a collapsed lung, and he's carrying a lot of the weight offensively. But tonight, I thought he would have made the stride. After Game 3, those late game turnovers, he had 8 for the game. I think 3 of them in the last 2 minutes of the game. So I thought he would clean that up. But really, it's upon him himself, obviously, but his teammates should help him. The coaching staff help him. He just has to slow the game down and take his time. Slow as pro, a lot of people say. And I think he'll do that in Game 5.
Game 5 Wednesday in Detroit. The Pistons have won 5 straight at home by an average of 13 points per game. We'll see if that trend continues Wednesday. Danny Green, thanks so much.
At 2, the series heads back to San Antonio for Game 5 tomorrow. The Spurs still favored in that one and in the series, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. San Antonio looking to get back to its first conference finals since 2017. And we welcome back our man, Danny Green. So, Danny, the NBA adjudicated the Wemby elbow in the Spurs' favor. He's going to play in Game 5 after being tossed out in Game 4. But now the series is tied 2-2. So how do you think Wemby and the Spurs respond tomorrow?
I think they bounce back in a big way. I know Wemby was not happy with the call. I think it was the right one to make, but he was juiced up, trying to get his teammates going. They played well without him. They showed a lot of maturity. And that was one they felt they probably let slip away. So they're going to be home. They're going to be in front of their fans, in front of that crowd. And those young guys are going to be ready to hoop and alongside with Wemby. That pain is going to be very different when Minnesota is trying to attack him. They had 38 shots on goal, which is a second career high underneath Coach Finch. Game prior, 32 kickouts, which is a career high in kickouts because of Wemby in the paint. And I assume that it'll go that way again. And they'll have a big response in that arena in San Antonio.
Yeah, looking forward to this. Timberwolves, as we know, they've proven to be a very tough out. They made the conference finals each of the last 2 seasons. We'll see what San Antonio has for them. Danny giving us the lowdown on a really interesting series right now.